Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri, and I know, you're confused because it's Wednesday and I'm in the bathroom, but don't you worry. I'm supposed to be in the bathroom on this DIY Wednesday because Halloween is over, and on Tuesday I went into my Starbucks and the entire Starbucks was decked out for Christmas. The employees were wearing those headbands with reindeer antlers and jingle bells around their neck and red sweaters, and the whole Starbucks was decorated for Christmas. And I was like, no, we just barely got done with Halloween. What's going on? And they were like, it's Christmas. And I was like, no, it's not. It can't be, because then that means the year's almost over and we're in crunch time. Because you remember that list, and mine's like 5 pages long, of the shit that we were gonna get done this year? Well, yeah, we have like 8 weeks to finish it. So we have got to get our DIYs, our home repairs, our what have you taken care of, because before you know it, the house is going to be flooded with friends, family, what have you. Thanksgiving right around the corner. Right after that, I mean, you can barely even breathe, and then it's Christmas. So we got to get shit done, man. So on today's DIY Wednesday, we're doing just that. We're getting shit done. And the shit that we're going to get done today is we're going to replace that leaky faucet. I know you're excited. It sounds mundane, and I've been sitting on my couch thinking, I don't want to get up and replace that faucet, man. But we have to. So I got up so we could replace the faucet. I was watching a Manny MUA video. It was like one of those ones that seems like a cop-out one to me, like ask me questions and I'll answer them sort of a thing. But whatever, neither here nor there. He recently moved into a new house. And so someone had asked the question like, how's the unpacking going, what have you. He made it so his house is livable. It's not completely unpacked, but now he just feels complacent. He has like 2 boxes in his bedroom that need to be unpacked. He has a few boxes here and there that still need to be unpacked. He has organization to do, but he's like, since the house is livable, everything seems okay. I'm like complacent. Like, why do I really have to rush to unpack these last 4 boxes and organize stuff? Because look, I can walk around. Furniture's in place, my bed's made, and I can totally relate with what he said, because right now, do I have a faucet in this bathroom that works? Why, yes, I do. Does it leak all over the place? 100%. But does it still work? It does. You know, I come in here and I'm like, oh my God, this faucet leaks so bad. Oh, the water pressure's horrible. The knobs are like askew. It's totally old. It needs to be replaced. I literally have the replacement. I've had it right here since, oh, remember when we redid all of the hardware in this shower? Yeah, I've had this faucet since then, and I still haven't done it. Because why? Because I'm being complacent. Because this faucet right here, it spits out water, so it's fine, right? But we can't be like that, especially now that it's crunch time. We've got 2 months before the year is over. So I figure, let me teach you how to replace a faucet. It's pretty fucking easy. You guys are gonna be surprised with just how easy it is and what a difference it's going to make in your bathroom. And you gotta have a good working faucet for all those guests, man. You don't want any, I mean, could you just hear like your mother-in-law, your grandmother, whoever's the like, you know the one. It sounds like they're giving you a compliment, but yet it's kind of a dig. You don't want that person going in your bathroom only to come out to complain about the water pressure or the leaky faucet. So let's get it fixed, and let's get it fixed really quickly right now. So just to show you what we're working with, here is the faucet, super old. Notice how it's completely shut off, but this handle's like back and this handle's straight. Not to mention all of this like calcium buildup happens because when I turn the sink on, it leaks from under here. That's not good. This is also like a really tiny spigot that's very, very low. And so when you try to wash your face or anything like that, it's kind of difficult just because the bowl of this sink isn't that deep either. So I did buy a faucet that came up more like this. So there's a better distance between the bottom of the faucet and the bottom of the sink. Just also too, I mean, it's not a very good looking faucet. So let's get rid of it. So here is what we are replacing it with. A brand new, beautiful faucet. I got this at the Lowe's a while back, but it looks like it was only 60 bucks. See? For 60 bucks, to replace that and change it to this, I think that's a pretty good price to pay, especially with how easy it's gonna be. If we look on the back, very little tools are required. Just that wrench, really. That's all we need. So let's stop talking about it. Let's get going. So now that you've run over to the Lowe's or your local hardware store and picked out your faucet, the next step is you have to clean out from under your sink. So we need all of this removed, and then we need to shut off the water. So yeah, let's do that. So we'll just shove this over here and clean out the rest, and then I'll show you how to turn off the water. Under the sink is cleaned out, and now we have to shut off the water. So you have two options. You can shut off the main water, that spigot that's outside of your house somewhere. Remember I had to go on a hunt for mine? I now know exactly where it is. But when you're dealing with the sink, there should be two valves here underneath, the hot water and the cold water, and you should be able to just turn them off right underneath the sink without having to turn off the water to your entire house. Righty-tighty to turn off. Ooh. Now this is the problem. This one's really tight. It's supposed to be really easy. You're just supposed to shut it off from there. Okay, crisis averted. We were able to turn off the water from under the sink. I just had to use this tool to loosen that little knob. So now that the water's off, we get to open our new faucet and get it installed. I mean, if you're nervous, like, I'm not a plumber, I can't do, well, I'm not a plumber either, and we can do anything. And actually, I can't tell you enough how easy this is. You basically open the box, read the directions, follow the directions, and you have a new faucet. It's really that easy. You can do it with just one of these. What is this, a plier? One that like adjusts to little to big. Everything else, you don't need much. That's how easy it is. So let's open it up and see how shiny and pretty it looks. Ooh, pretty new faucet. And then this faucet is newer technology than this faucet. This is the valve that clogs the sink up. So the faucet, you'll notice, does not have one of those like pull up the thing and then it closes the sink. This is a valve that you push down. So we will have to replace this pull part, which is in here. Not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. Now that we have everything out of the box, first step, take apart your old faucet. See, it even is titled Quick Installation Guide. It's very quick. Under here, which I will give you a close-up look, mine happens to go way, way, way up in here. There's gonna be some like screw things, nuts, washers, something that looks like you can unscrew it. You need to find those and unscrew those. It's a little bit uncomfortable, and sometimes I fold up a towel and rest it on the ledge so it doesn't hurt my back, but oh yeah, they're up there. You might need a tool, like a wrench, if they've really been on there for a long time and they're really, really tight. I'll show you what we're talking about. Okay, well, first thing, it's pretty gross under here, but let's just ignore that. So this thing and this thing are what we need to unscrew. This little thing right here, we're not gonna use this anymore. This is that thing I was talking about that clogs the sink. So this is the thing when you pull up that handle, it does that little mechanism that blocks the water from falling through the pipes. So this will come off, but first we need to get these off. This one is pretty loose with just my hand, so I can undo this one. Now be prepared, there might be some residual water. Just unscrew that. There is this little washer. We have to undo that as well because we need this hose to come off of here as well. And this for sure, you're gonna need a wrench to do. This is not hand tight. This is like tool tight. So loosen this up and then take off this on both of these hoses. It might take you a little bit of work depending on how much corrosion is on these little guys, but it's not doable. The hardest thing is whoever these sink people are, they don't give you a lot of room, so it's really cramped up here. And to try to get a tool in here to loosen things, I mean, look, there's not a lot of space to work with. But once you get it loose, then it just is easy to undo with your hand. So you just unscrew this, loosen up that hose on both. Ah! hot water. I told you, be prepared on both the hot and the cold side. And then you can take this little gray thing off. And then once this is off, this is a spigot of your faucet above. So look, once we have both sides off, that's just gonna lift right out. Yay. Both are off. I did already remove that little plunger thing from right here. It was just a simple hand screw. It was not that big of a deal at all, but I needed to remove it so that it gave me a little bit more room to get my hand and my tool up here to loosen these guys. Now that we have that loose, from above, look at, we could see light. We just pushed that faucet right on out. So here we are, top side. This is the little pull thing that I unscrewed from the bottom to get this piece out of the sink. So that's out, and that's out. Oh my God. Now this is your opportunity to clean up any of the lime scale, calcium, what have you. Clean all this out, get any hair clogs out of there so that you can start with a fresh, clean slate. And voila. It's a thing of beauty. Now, I got all of this lime scale and calcium buildup and whatever it was off of here the only way I know how, and that is with the pumice stone. I also did use a magic eraser as well. And I know some of you might say, oh, but the pumice stone is going to scratch it. Well, yeah, it kind of does scratch it. I'm not gonna lie about that. But it's the only thing that really gets it off. I'd rather have some scratches that no one's gonna be able to see than calcium outline buildup lime scale grossness right there. Now that we're all clean, and I also cleaned out the drain, we're ready to install the new faucet. Pretty much, we just redo what we just undid, basically, for this guy. When you get it out of the package, it's gonna have these very familiar little gray plastic things. You just unscrew the little gray things to release your faucet from the cardboard packaging. Now, it does say we need to use some plumber's putty, which I do have in the garage. The bottom of your faucet's gonna look something like this, and there's a little groove in this like plastic thing. So I'm just gonna get my plumber's putty and make a snake and put it in this groove of this plastic thing so that when I put this into my sink, it makes a watertight seal. So I gotta go get my plumber's putty from the garage because I forgot it. Okay, here it is. This is the same tub of plumber's putty that I bought when I redid the bathtub stuff. This is what it looks like. And this tub is not very expensive. I think it's like $4.99, $3.99, something like that. I mean, it is exactly like what it says. It's putty, like silly putty. So just grab some and I just roll it into a snake where that groove is. You see that groove? Just lay your snake of putty in that groove. You kind of do want it like bulbousy, not super flush with the groove. So you can see how I can see it above the groove here so that when we smash it in, it smashes in and creates that seal. Make kind of a thick snake. Just roll a good amount of a snake. And then once you have that done, you can place it in where it goes. Plumber's putty all around. So now you wanna, I'm pausing because you can end up putting this on backwards and then the knobs don't pull towards you. So you wanna make sure, depending on the faucet you have purchased, that you have it to where the knobs are correct, front facing, before you place this in and get it all tightened down. So place it in and then smoosh it. So it's placed in easy peasy, and we just kind of want to make sure that it looks straight. Now you'll notice I have a little plumber's putty coming through already. No sense cleaning this up right now because we got to get underneath the sink and tighten this down with those gray things. We get it super, super tight, then we can clean up all the smush out of the plumber's putty. But look at how pretty it is already. What I love about this faucet is, look, this moves. So you can move it out of the way or put it in the center. I love it. I love it so much. And it's just so clean and pretty. Let's tighten it from underneath. Okay, so we're back under the sink and I have no idea why this is dripping. There must be like, oh, there is water like stored up in there. Everybody, fingers crossed, there's not a hole in this, but yeah, okay. It's just gonna drip there. Here is our little gray thing and our other little gray thing. And we just need to get these onto here as tight as you can get it with your hand. No need to use a tool. And then, like I said, that plumber's putty, that's just gonna ooze out and create that perfect seal so we don't get any leakage. And I also looked from above to make sure that my faucet was still straight. And now that we have that all done, all we have to do is hook up these little hoses, and that part is done. Now, if this was a traditional old style faucet, we'd be pretty much done because we wouldn't have to worry about the plunger situation, but that's not the case. So once these hoses are hooked up, then we'll deal with the plunger. Once you have your hoses tight, and you do need to use your little wrench thing to get the hose connection really, really tight, because that's where the water is gonna come through. It's not budging. Everything's nice and secure. I just used my fingernail to scrape off any of the plumber's putty that oozed out from underneath. Technically, we could turn on the water and be done. However, we have that to deal with. If your new faucet doesn't have a new one of those, you're golden. But since mine does, we're not golden. We have to get back under the sink. So this is gonna be the worst part. I'm just telling you that now so you're prepared. We need to take this new thing and hook it to where this old thing was. You see how this looks? Well, it's pretty much that piece right there, just made out of black plastic. We have to unscrew this part here, and then there's another one up above we need to unscrew, and we need to remove this section here, and then it's gonna be replaced with this section. Now, all of this is gonna be real tight. This is where the water is. Whoever installed this originally got these puppies on really, really tight. So use your tool, be patient, just remove this little nut thing here, and then there's one at the top that like kind of hooks it onto the bottom of the sink. Once you have that off, this thing will just pop right out, and then you should be able to just drop this in from the top down and then hook it all together. Okay, so get your thing, and then righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Just be patient, it's coming. Oh yeah, water's gonna leak out too, be prepared. Boom, just loosen that right off. Very easy, just with this tool right here. So we've undone that. Now, the only thing we need to undo is up under here, and then we can take it out. So this is the piece that we need to loosen and unscrew so this whole part comes out. Get you these, and then just, you know, fit it around there and use all your muscles and loosen that up. And once you loosen it with your tool, it should be fairly easy to just unscrew the rest of the way with your hand. That's all you do. Get this unscrewed and get this sucker off of here. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the struggle was real on that. While it was very easy to get this loose and this loose, what I couldn't get loose was the silver thing that's inside of the sink. It's supposed to just unscrew off, but mine seemed to be very corroded and welded on, and I could not unscrew it so that I could get this pipe out. So I ended up taking pliers and bending it a million times and then basically breaking it off. But it's off, and as Tim Gunn says, we need to make it work. So now that I've got that off, we can take this pipe out. Oh, look it. Ugh. And I was wondering why I couldn't get it unscrewed. Well, this is why. Now, we just need to drop this in, boom, and then use its parts and pieces and all its little things to screw it in tight. So according to the directions, we have this little flat guy, and he butts up right up against this part here. This is what's gonna create the seal between the hole in our sink and the water going through. Then we're supposed to put this guy dome side up. He goes here, and then this guy goes here. And then we are supposed to shove this down, put this on, tighten, 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 and then tighten this. Oh God, I'm sorry. There's just grossness all over the place. This guy, we tighten down in here. So drop him in, take this guy, get this, put that there, like so. So we have our new pipe. We have this silver piece that was from our old pipe, and we have this little black thing. We're gonna take this black thing that came with our new one, hand tighten this little black thing here, get that nice and hand tight up to the top so we have a nice seal. And then you're just gonna take this piece and screw this back down so so that it attaches with this pipe here. Very easy. We're almost done. We can almost turn on the water. Okay, it is now the moment of truth. I haven't super tightened this part here with like a tool yet because we need to turn on the water and see if anything is leaking from up above, from up under here where we re-tightened on our water hoses. Fingers crossed. Let's turn on the hot and let's turn on the cold. Now, this cold one has been bugging me the whole time because it's been a drip from somewhere. So I'm hoping that it's not gonna leak. See, there's a lot of water coming out from somewhere. Why? Why? Where is that coming from? I don't know, but we're gonna have to figure it out. It's going like crazy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Just when we were in the home stretch, many an issue. So many issues. 2 to be exact. I'm sopping wet. My hair is super wet. It's this hose at the top that is causing me leakage problems. I cannot get that stupid thing on tight enough and I'm getting really, really frustrated. So I need to step away for just a minute. I'm just gonna let it drip. I put a fresh towel under here. It'll be fine. I just need to take a breath because of water everywhere. This was getting soaking wet and then I was slipping, the whole thing. I just needed to take a minute. Then, guess what I discovered? This part right here, I was like, why is our water coming from here? Oh, there's a crack. There's a crack in it. So I just duct taped it for now because I'm not running to the hardware store to replace this little U piece. I solved that drip with some duct tape. Where there's a will, there's a way. But I can't solve this hose with duct tape. I just have to get up there, get my pliers in there and try to tighten it as best I can. So I'm gonna step away and then I'm gonna come back and then I'm gonna tighten it. And then we're gonna turn the water on and everything's gonna be beautiful and you're gonna see the faucet from the top. But I highly doubt you're gonna run into these issues. I mean, we would have been done already had that not happened. It's just dripping away and I'm just gonna let it until Please don't let this discourage you. If you have a faucet that you don't like, you can really change it. It's just some shit's going on with me right now under this old ass sink. It's nothing we can't overcome. It's just gonna take a little bit longer than I wanted it to. Okay, it's the next day. I just woke up and here's where we are. What was supposed to be a maybe 2-hour leaky faucet change has now turned into a weekend project of replacing all the pipes underneath your sink. I know. Again, don't let this discourage you from replacing your faucet. It really is very easy. It's so easy to do. It's just, you know, maybe you might run into a problem if you live in a 54-year-old house that's never had anything replaced here, because that's what's happening to me. Remember, I needed to step away because I could not get that leak in the hose taken care of. So I did just that. I came back, I actually took both hoses off, I flipped them and reattached what used to be the bottom to the top and the top to the bottom. And that worked swimmingly. No leak was coming in from the top. However, this hose right here was leaking from the bottom, which led me to believe maybe the little O-ring inside the hose wasn't right. I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store and replace that one hose because it's leaking. So then I was like, well, if you're going to the hardware store to replace the hose, you might as well take off that U-shaped pipe, which is called the P-pipe or something like that. So it's like, you might as well just take that off. I was removing it from here and that all went fine. But there is a big like nut washery thing in the back that hooks it to the pipe that comes out of your wall. Well, that would not move, completely corroded. And I tried so hard that my already corroded U-shape or P-pipe, that already had a crack in it, as you know. Well, it's disgusting on the inside. It's completely corroded, so much so that I broke the whole thing off without removing the little screw thing at all. And now I have little shards of this pipe attached here that I can't get off. I know. So overnight I filled a baggie with vinegar and I taped it to the pipe so that hopefully the vinegar would dissolve some of the corrosion and then I would be able to unscrew that little nut, get the shards of this pipe out, and then go to the hardware store and replace everything. There's part of me that's like, just go get your mocha, come back, and then deal with this. And then there's another part of me that's like, oh, You're gonna take this right off. This screw thing's gonna come off. The little extra shards of pipe are gonna come right out. Then you can go get your mocha, and then you can go to the hardware store, get all your supplies, come back, finish this up, and be done with it. Because if I take this off and this doesn't come off, I don't know what to do. My next door neighbor's a plumber. He might be getting a knock, knock, knock on his door if this doesn't come off. It's not coming off. I don't know what to do. This stupid thing is not coming off. I need to go get a mocha. Okay. Mocha. I got my mocha, and then I went right over to my local hardware store. I asked a plumbing specialist what I should do. Now, shout out to Sig from my local hardware store. Not a big box store, not the Lowe's, because we all know those people don't help you and they don't know anything. Sig said, if I'm committed to doing this, he's committed to helping me. He gave me a lot of things that make me a little bit nervous, but when faced with adversity, we shall overcome. I know we can do this. Sig says our only option is to cut this pipe right before the bend. So we have to cut this with a hacksaw. And really, all the things that I had to purchase came out to $30-something. So this is a hacksaw, and you put a blade, depending on whatever you're cutting, PVC pipe, metal pipe, what have you. Hacksaw blade. This is an 18-tooth carbon steel hacksaw blade. Then he was so sweet. I mean, this is like local hardware stores. You can't, I mean, the knowledge there, I tell you what. He got me everything I needed, and then he put it all together for me so that I knew what to do. So once we hacksaw this off, we're gonna have just a straight piece of pipe sticking out of the wall. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this white thing, put that onto the pipe sticking out of our wall. Then we're gonna take this little tiny baby white piece, do that. So now we have a threaded part coming out of the wall. Then we need to line this whole situation up under the sink so that this part lines up with the hole, the drain in our sink. So we'll have to cut this pipe to length and then attach that to this white part. And then it'll all work and be done. He did say that if I start cutting this pipe and I notice that it's crumbling or falling apart, then I need to stop because I can't get this pipe out of the wall. I don't want to damage it any more than it already is. I fully feel we can do this ourselves. Again, we can do anything. Is this what we were looking for when we were just going to replace the faucet? No, it's not. But we can do it. It's gonna be fine. I also did buy another hosey thing because this was the leaky one. And so I bought a new one of that. So now I just need to outfit my hacksaw and get to hacksawing this pipe. We can do it. It's gonna go fine. It's gonna go fine. I mean, it's gonna go fine. I will say that the two gentlemen standing behind me at the plumbing counter, of course they were curious like what I was doing. And so I showed them the pictures because I took a picture of this before I left. And both of them were like, oh no. But Sig seems to think that I can do it. So if he has faith in me, I have faith in me. And I was telling him, I really wanted to just figure this out by myself and do this by myself. But you know what? Sometimes you need help. I'm not a professional plumber. I just play one on TV. So if someone with the knowledge and the skill can give me some pointers and make it so I can do something myself, I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. Let me get this apart, put my hacksaw blade together, and start sawing. It took a little bit of muscle, but I just cut through pipe. And it's a pretty clean cut if you ask me. I mean, look at this disaster area. It's so corroded in here that this wouldn't loosen. So now that we've gotten this off and we have no crumbling, the pipe looks pretty good. And ooh, there's a little sharp piece. Sig did tell me to be careful of that. Now we have to get all of these pieces. So it's like white, blue. Ooh, what? Oh, I was like, what is in there? It's all the pipe dust. So let me clean that out and then we'll start puzzle piecing this shit together. Yay! It's going good so far. You're not gonna fucking believe it. I did it. And get ready for it. The full force of the water. Both the hot and cold faucets are on. You can hear them. No drips in all my new plumbing that I installed by myself. underneath the sink. No drips from my new hose. Nothing. We are drip free. I know you didn't think we can do it, but like I told you, we put our minds to it, we can do anything. And now we're certified fucking plumbers. Are you ready to see the magic that is the new faucet? You're gonna die. Here it is. Dun, 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 dun. I know. It is amazing. And look, oh my gosh, the water works. And oh my gosh, I can plug up the sink and no water leaks out. And I can unplug it. I can move this. Look at that. Need to wash my face and need more room? Dun, 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 dun. And just look at how new and shiny it is. I know most of you might be looking at the sink and going, there's a lot of damage inside of this sink, Sheri. Yeah, I know. But it's something I'm gonna have to live with. I'm not about to redo this whole countertop to replace a sink that doesn't have nearly as much character as this one, because I love the way it kind of like octagons out. So yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with the damage that was done to the inside of the sink before I moved in. But the faucet is a huge improvement. Yay! And just so you can see, no leaks under here either. I know it looks gross back there, but you know, grossness aside, we are not leaking. And look I hope I did Sig proud. All of my little puzzle piece parts together, they're all working great. And no leaks. Thank you, Sig. You are amazing. I know, it looked like a rocky road, but all things considered, we fixed it. Again, there's something to be said for being able to do something yourself. Have I replaced faucets before? 100%. As I started this video, they're usually pretty easy. An hour or two, you've got a new faucet. But sometimes you run into some forks in the road. And this one, it seemed pretty daunting. I mean, when I broke that pipe last night, I was like, oh, fuck me. 1-800-plumber, I guess I'm looking at like, you know, $1,000 fix. What if they have to get up inside the walls? Like part of me was like, put the house up for sale. Let the next homeowner deal with this. Or live like Amish times and put a bucket under the sink and just dump a bucket every time you turn on the faucet. But I didn't have to do any of that. And you won't either if you run into a problem like this, because if you put your mind to it, you can fix it yourself. You just need a little bit of help from someone who knows what they're doing. At my local hardware store, that was Sig. He knew exactly what I needed. He drew it out for me. He put the pieces together and sent me on my way. And it's gonna stick with me forever. Him telling me if I'm committed to doing this, he's committed to helping me. And that's what I want to like pay it forward to you guys. If you are committed to doing something, I am committed to helping you. And I hope that this proves I am nothing special. I'm just like you. And maybe the only difference between the two of us is that I think I can do anything. And I know you can do anything too. So don't let a broken off pipe stop you. You can do it. And actually, when Sig laid out all the parts and pieces for me, explained to me how to do it, I came home, I was nervous to cut that pipe, I'm not gonna lie, but I did it and it worked out just like he said. And then I puzzle pieced all those little new plastic pipes together, boom. We have a faucet that is brand new, sparkly clean, no more lime scale, no more corroded pipes under the sink, and this fix is gonna last us until we die. And I'm so excited. It's another one of those like, yeah, I could have hired a plumber maybe. I could have stopped last night and been like, fuck that. We are not moving forward anymore. I don't care what it costs. I'm not dealing with this. I'm gonna have a plumber do it. I could have done that, but just sticking to it and knowing it seems hard, but it's nothing you can't do. And you did it. And I'm so excited. And now I have that, like, I know, like, when people come over, you don't typically show them the underneath of your sink. But part of me wants to be like, oh my God, come see the underneath of my sink. Look what I did. I'm that proud of it. And there's no leaks. And it looks fresh and brand new. And I love it so much. So point of the story is, don't let a fork in the road make you think you can't continue. Don't let it make you think you can't complete the project that you want to complete, because you can do it. I'm telling you, we're certified master plumbers at this point, and I'm so excited about it. So there you have it, and there it is, DIY Wednesday. Out of all my DIY videos, I think this one is probably like the most, like, you've got a problem, here's the solution. Don't be scared about it. You can do it. So yeah, all of that to say this. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring that notification bell so that you are alerted to all of the DIY Wednesday videos I push out, which is every other Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you share this video with your family and friends, especially any family and friends that you know that may want to change out a faucet and then may have opened a whole nother can of worms when they got under the sink. Share this video with them. And as always, thanks for hanging out.